Welcome to ProjectME, the podcast. I'm your host, Tiffany Carter, the founder of ProjectME, multimillionaire entrepreneur, former TV newscaster, money-making expert, female empowerment speaker, and self-proclaimed office supply addict. My mission is to take the mystery out of making big money. Every week on ProjectME, the podcast, I'll share success tips, strategies, and stories from other entrepreneurs, experts, and millionaires, showing you exactly how you can achieve your most exceptional life. Now let's get to it. Let me ask you something. Do you feel like you're doing all the things to grow your business, but it's barely budging? If you had an expert you trusted lay out a proven strategy for you step by step to get you to consistent $20,000 to $50,000 months without burning yourself out, would you do it? Imagine if in 2 days you got more done for your business than you have all damn year. Imagine being immersed in an abundant cocoon, luxuriating at one of the most exclusive beaches in the world while getting a customized action plan nailed down for your business so you can clearly scale it to multiple six figures. Imagine being able to release all that mental money noise that has been weighing you down in a highly supportive, safe, and super fun environment. Would it feel good for you to leave after 2 days with me, having your profitable offers laid out, clearly understanding the holes in your business and how to fix them, a marketing plan so you can sell the shit out of your offers, how to attract more paying clients on repeat, and knowing exactly how you are going to generate passive income from your business? If this feels good to you, even if it feels scary, you need to take the final call and your final chance to go take a look at the page for the mastermind. This is my first ever 2-day live mastermind experience with me. I have not done one in 4 years, so the likelihood of me doing one of these again is slim. So I would not procrastinate or tell yourself it's not the time. If you're not sure if this is great for you, the best thing to do is to fill out an application and let me help you determine that, because I'm not accepting anybody into the mastermind who I don't absolutely know for sure would be a great fit and would get an excellent return on investment, because that's not a good look for either of us. Go to projectmewithtiffany.com/mastermind, projectmewithtiffany.com/mastermind. The link is also my bio on Instagram at projectmewithtiffany. These applications are closing really soon here, and there's a maximum of 15 spots. So by the time you're hearing this, we might already be sold out. I'm not sure. So go to the page, read the details, fill out the application, do the damn scary thing, and stop toe dipping on your business. Welcome to ProjectME with Tiffany Carter, the podcast and posse. I'm your host, Tiffany, and we are going to get you guys making some money, honey. Aren't you tired of not making consistent cash in your business on the level that you want to be at? You know, it's all relative, right? Some of you are just starting, so you'd be like, score if you were at $500 a month. Others of you are at 10 a month. Some of you are at 100,000 a month. It's all relative on what level, but at some point there's something in there that's not working, where you're kind of stuck at the level you're at. And I always take a look at a few things. One, how are you attracting consistently new ideal clients to you? What are you doing to make that happen? What is your actual proven strategy? And most of you don't have one. Most of the time is I'm posting and hoping that I'm going to get more people, or I'm just doing a lot of reels, or now I'm on TikTok. That's not a proven strategy. Those are elements of a strategy. So I always look at that. That's usually an area where there's a hole that we need to fix. Another thing I look at is, okay, how are you launching? What do you do with this thing that you want people to buy or sign up for? Whether it's a service, a physical product, a digital product, what are you doing? 99.9% of the time, you are not talking about your offerings enough. If you are not absolutely wildly so sick of yourself when you are launching your stuff, then you have not spoken about it enough. Even my coach, where I have been talking about my 2-day live mastermind, which is very vulnerable that I'm doing an in-person thing. I've never done one. I've never done one under my brand before. I've spoken at other in-person events many times. I've helped other people design, implement, and execute and sell out their events. But an in-person event for me brings up a lot of deep childhood stuff. And I'm going to do a whole separate episode on what it takes to, make big cash and sell out a successful, transformative online event or in-person event after, of course, I actually have mine. But I could not show up for you guys and tell you to do all these things, even on this episode, and to show up in a certain way and show up regardless, even if you're scared, and take the scary action and do the thing. I can't tell you guys to do that and preach about that and not do it myself. And I've always wanted to have an in-person event under my brand. It's not that I didn't want to. I was afraid I'd be that little kid who had a birthday party and no one came to the party. That's what was coming up for me. So I knew I needed to do it. I made sure I had the right support. My point in sharing some of this is one of the pieces of support is I hired a new business coach, Cara Alwell of the Champagne Diet. You guys might know who she is. She's freaking amazing. And I hired her because there's a couple things that she's done for many years that I've not done that I would love to do. And I would rather learn from her, who's been doing it for years, who made the mistakes, who's had big wins, and who can tell me how to do it. And hold me accountable. That's why you pay a coach. That's why you pay a consultant. That is the shortcut. So I made sure I set myself up for success for launching this thing. So this is my point. I set myself up for success by making sure I had great guidance, asking for what I needed from the people in my inner circle and the people on my team so that I could execute this. That didn't take away my fear. That didn't take away my discomfort. That didn't take away some of my anxiety around it, right? But it helped me manage it and continue moving forward. Otherwise, it'd be very easy for me to quit. It's not like I'm doing this for money. I could launch an online program or a course that wouldn't require me to be as uncomfortable, that would make even 5 times the money. It's more than money. And your launches really need to be about more than money. If they're just about money, the universe is going to make sure you don't make much of it. It's funny how it works like that. It's got to be about more than money. And you're like, girl, I got to pay the bills. It is about money. I'm not saying that we don't want to make great money doing it, but there's got to be something else in there too. You've got to believe so much in the transformation of what you're helping people with. You've got to believe so much in the results you're going to get people and how that's going to impact their lives and their children's lives and their families, their health, their wealth, whatever it may be. You've got to believe so much in that and be so passionate about it, because the money's not enough and it'll end up getting in your head and really messing you up for a launch. So it was funny because I said to my coach, and this was like 2 weeks, I think, after I launched, and I was like, I thought I'd be sold out by now. I'm like, not that I'm sitting here thinking everything I touch turns to gold, because it certainly doesn't. It doesn't for anybody, although a lot of people make it look that way. Run from people who make it look that way, by the way. Even though it's very alluring, because you're like, ooh, I want that too. It's like, it's not possible. Not possible for everything we touch, no matter who you are, for it to turn to gold. That's why there's the land of the misfit products at the 99-cent store. Just remember that. So she said to me, well, I'm not surprised. And I go, why does it take, do you think it takes just a little bit longer for things to sell out for an in-person event? She goes, no. She's like, I follow all your stuff and I only recall you sharing about it once. And I started laughing. I go, this is the shit I say to my clients. And I go, really? And I'm like, you know what? I know I'm not sharing it as loudly and proudly as I normally do, but I needed you to say that to me. I kind of knew I wasn't, and I was trying to get away with it. I really was. I was trying to get away with it. And my fear wasn't that I was going to annoy you guys talking about it, which I know that's a big fear of most people, right? That you're going to annoy your audience. You're going to turn them off. Your views go down, blah, blah, blah. Your people are going to think you're all about money and you don't really care. That's a very valid feeling that comes up. It's not true unless you are an annoying, sleazy, pushy, manipulative person. But if you're not that kind of person, you're not going to turn people off because you're sharing how you're going to freaking help them. And you're passionate about it, genuinely. You know, if it is just for the money, it will turn people off and they will feel that. But I was trying to get away with it because, you know, that inner child of mine was like, this is scary. This is scary. What if no one comes to my party? And then if we really digged further, if I don't show up in all the ways I know how to show up, in all the ways I teach you guys how to show up, if I didn't show up fully and no one showed up to my party, I could at least go back and say, well, I know I didn't really show up fully. I didn't really go all in. So that's why people didn't show up to my party. Versus going all in is far more vulnerable. Going all in, investing the money, showing up when you don't feel like it, showing up regardless, doing the uncomfortable things, sending the email, sharing the stuff, hiring the coach, putting money on the line, whatever it is, you know, speaking on video for some of you. Right. And doing it consistently and showing up as you and not a version of you and all of that stuff. It's far more vulnerable to go all in, because if you go all in and it still doesn't work, where do most of us then point the finger? It's like a weird default we have by human nature. We point the finger back at ourselves. It must be me. They don't want to buy from me, especially when you have a personal brand or you're the face of a product-based brand or you're the face of your service-based business. It's like, they must not want to buy from me. And that's a shitty feeling. And you want to avoid that feeling. And we do a lot of weird stuff subconsciously to avoid it. And thank God I knew to set myself up for success for the rest of this year and going into next year by hiring someone who's been doing it a long time, and me being very open, humble, and willing to learn, and her to be able to call me out. And it takes a seasoned coach to call someone out. I call you guys out with love. The reason I can do it is I've been doing this 14 years. I might not have had a personal brand 14 years, but I've been coaching and training and leading people that long. When I first started, I was afraid to ever ruffle people's feathers, but that's called enabling. Thank God that she was able to say that, because I was like, you know what? It's true. And then we dug on it, and that's why. So some of you are not sharing not some of you, almost all of you, like 99.9% of you, aren't sharing your offers, your services. You're not sharing them enough because you're not going all in on it. Because then there's part of you that can say, well, I don't really share it that often. Well, I don't post consistently, so that's why. You have a default excuse as to why they're not buying versus being really vulnerable, really exposing yourself, putting it all out there. Here I am, world. Here is how I can help you. You know, here's what I have to offer. And then getting crickets. It's an uncomfortable feeling, and you're going to get crickets sometimes. It keeps you humble. You're going to get crickets, especially when you are waiting for that external validation and external proof that you're doing the right thing. When you're so dependent on getting that, the universe is going to be like, that's desperate vibes. You're trying to be codependent on the universe, on God. You're trying to create a contract where you will show up only if, or you will show up when, or you will only continue to show up loud and proud if someone applies, if so many people sign up, if you make so much money. Well, then we're going to make sure that doesn't happen. That's how that works. How many of you are like, oh my God, Totally. I needed to hear that. I know. And I need to be reminded of my own stuff. Sometimes I'm reminded of it when I'm recording for you. And I was like, oh shit, that was profound. I needed to hear that today. So main thing is you're not talking about it enough. 2, you have to make sure whatever your product or program is, it's what your ideal client actually wants and believes they need. Did you just create something based on what you know they need? Or did they tell you that's what they believe they need? You trying to shove something to them that they don't feel they're ready for yet, that they don't feel will get them that transformation, those core desires, the things that they're looking for, they're going to be repelled by you. And they're going to feel not heard and understood by you. Because it's like, if she really got me, she would have a program that relates to me. And you mean well, you weren't doing this out of harm. You mean well because you, as the expert, you know what they need. So you're like, well, but I know you need this. It'd be like back Tiffany 1.0. If someone came at me with increasing my confidence shit, I would have been like, I don't have a confidence problem. I'm very confident. I am a confident, self-made, driven woman. I would have been offended. Absolutely offended. And the truth is, I had zero self-worth. But I believed I was confident. And I wasn't, but I believed it. I truly believed that was not my issue. So if you were trying to sell me something based on increasing my confidence and gaining confidence, I would have been repelled. So that's why it's imperative you make sure you understand what your clients believe they need. Then how you're going to help them? You give them what they believe they need, plus you give them the shit they really need, right? So in using myself as that example, right? What I believed I needed, I laugh because it's so off from what I really needed. What I believed I needed was I needed a lot of help in the attracting the right partner. I believed that if I found the right partner and I did whatever healing work I needed to do to attract that right partner, my life would be amazing because I was just constantly attracting toxic people. So if someone went down that path and didn't use the word confidence, right, in the sense of you need to have more confidence and then you'll attract the right partner, I would have never bought that program. But if someone came at me with, you're a busy, driven woman who's not prioritized, your love life, you have very little time for dating, you keep attracting toxic people in your life, you keep attracting takers, you're an overgiver, you want to stop this pattern, you feel like, years are passing, your good years are passing you by, sold. I even bought something that was like, you're a highly confident, successful woman. Yes, I am. And then once I got into it, it was like, but there's a self-worth problem here. Do you see what I'm saying? So in integrity, you're still going to give them what they believe they need and then the real thing they need. So a lot of you need to go back to the drawing board. The names of your programs are essential, just like the cover of a book, a title of a movie. It'll make or break sales. This is why companies spend millions of dollars on colors, logos, names, photo shoots in order to get that right. They'll even test different ones in small markets because they want to make sure they get it right. And guess what? They still get it wrong sometimes. Haven't you guys seen movies where like, that is the worst freaking title in the world? I would never see that movie, right? So sometimes they get it wrong. And these are people spending millions of dollars. You're not always going to get it right, but you just have to be willing to then regroup, retailor it, massage, redesign, relaunch again, and repackage if that's necessary. And being humble and willing to learn from people who've already made those mistakes so you don't waste all this time, energy, and money. You guys are wasting a shit ton of money doing this from your ass strategy, Googling, watching other people's stuff, kind of mimicking them, trying different things. That's okay to do that a little bit. I get that. That's solid. But you keep doing that long enough, you could have been making money that whole time. So just don't play cheap with your dreams. I feel like some of you need to hear that. Some of you are playing cheap with your dreams, and when you're cheap, it ends up actually costing you significantly more than it would if you had just hired the coach, if you had just gone to the mastermind, if you had just hired the employee, if you had just paid someone to do your graphics. If you really look back, I don't know too many people who have ever regretted paying someone great money to take work off their plate, shave time off their plate, help them make more money. I don't know anyone's like, I really regretted that. I've made bad hires and had to fire people, but I've never regretted, even this new healthy meal delivery service I'm trying. I haven't tried it yet. Even if it tastes like shit, I'm not going to regret trying it. But my guess is it won't taste like shit. And I'll go, God, why didn't I sign up for this one sooner? That's what most of you end up going, God, I should have hired someone to do my graphics sooner. I should have sooner. So don't play cheap with your dreams. It's really, really costly. And on that note, who's coming to my 2-day live mastermind? We're 85% sold out as the time I'm recording this. So when you're listening, it could already be sold out. I'm not sure. But if you're really like, you know what, I'm tired of messing around. I'm tired of toe dipping, Tiff. I want to get real stuff done. I want to set myself up so that I can have my most profitable 2022 versus setting myself up for more of the same. And in 2 days, you're going to get more done for your business than you have all year. So much so, I'm giving 100% money back guarantee that you will feel by the end of the 2 days it is one of the best investments you've ever made in your business and in yourself. And as long as you implement on everything we planned out and designed with you during the mastermind for your business, there's no way you can't get an ROI. I can't make you follow through with the things, but you certainly won't be able to say, I'm confused. I don't know if my offer is profitable. I don't know how to get more ideal clients. I don't know how to grow my audience. I don't know what to do with my email list. I don't know how to, start incorporating physical products in my business, whatever it may be. You're not going to be able to say you're confused anymore. You don't know how to do something, or you don't have a proven strategy. That won't be possible at the end of the 2 days. Go check it out. Swipe up. The link is in the show notes. It's projectmewithtiffany.com/mastermind. Or you can go to the link in my bio on Instagram at ProjectMeWithTiffany. The details are on there. It's by application only. We're only taking a maximum of 15 people. I'm turning people away who aren't a good fit with love. And I'm letting you guys know. We want to make sure that this room is curated so that you all get the maximum return on your investment of your money and your energy and your time. So that's why it's by application only. Okay. And we have it at a small size so that everyone gets very clear, customized, personalized attention by me and the rest of the ProjectME team that are going to be here. If you can hear my dog barking, sorry, not sorry. Most of us here are dog people, and there's nothing I can do about it. Unless you want to hear me scream his name in the microphone, and I'm not about that life. Okay, I lied. I had to totally scream at him, and you guys did not need to hear that. So when it comes to launching, if you feel that you have the title nailed, you feel you have your subheadline nailed, you feel like it's exactly what your ideal client believes they need and it matches, then you need to be sharing it. Well, how much do I need to share it, Tiffany? How much is too much? You need to be sharing it in some fashion every single day. Whether it's in your emails, it's in your posts. I don't want you leading with it. I don't like these front-facing videos or posts that are just solely promotional. You can experiment with it. They typically don't do well. Now he's barking again. Whatever. They typically don't do well. I would rather you do content hoarding and save some of your best, most engaging, interesting content during your launch period so that you can keep your views and your likes and your open rate high and give them great high value content. This way they're not going to be annoyed when you're promoting, even if it's like, oh, that offer, it's not a great time, I'm in another program, or I'm not vibing that right now. They're not going to be annoyed and stop watching you because you're still giving them such a great percentage of high value content at the same time. That's how you're not going to annoy them. But I want you to trust something. When you're really passionate about helping your people and you're really clear on the problem you're helping them with and what that transformation looks like for them on the other side, and it matches what they want, it matches their core desires, why would they be annoyed by you? Why would they be irritated by you? Are you truly irritated by anyone who tells you, you've got to read this book? I know I keep telling you, you've got to read this book, or you've got to try this. You've got to try this, night cream or whatever it is. It's so good. I know you're going to love it. You got to try this, this new app. You got to listen to the ProjectME podcast, whatever it is. Are you annoyed with someone who's so emphatic about sharing something with you that they know you're going to love, that they know is a perfect fit, that they know is going to elevate and enhance your life in some way? I don't think you are you? If someone is shoving something down your throat that you don't want, that's what's annoying. And that's why I'm telling you, it has to start with you creating programs, products, and offers and packaging them in a way where they are irresistible to your ideal client. If you aren't doing that, yes, it can feel annoying to someone because it's like, why is she offering to help me with confidence when confidence isn't my problem? Like, I don't get it. I see this happens a lot in the wellness space and the mindset space. It's like, well, you're telling me that you're going to help me gain self-love, but that's not my current issue right now. Just did another yelling rant. That was really fun. So I can only imagine how you guys are when you yell at your kids. It's like, you're so pleasant. Like, I'm so pleasant. Today's so beautiful. And the sun is shining. And you're like, get down here. That's how I sound like with the dogs. And I just screamed, Jesus fuck, really loud, which I'm sure offended a large population of people. And yes, I can say those two words in the same statement because why? 0 fucks given. They're just words. And last time I checked, God doesn't have a problem with me talking about him and swearing, nor does Jesus. And if they do, they can take it up with me and it's none of your business. I know I'll still get DMs about that one, but that's fine. We don't care, do we? ZFG. So the psychology behind you having a successful launch, a lot of that psychology depends on you. It's the energy and how you're showing up. If you're worried about annoying people and you're focused on that, you will annoy people because you'll come across weird and awkward, or you won't show up at all. If you're concerned that no one's going to buy, you're going to show up either in a desperate energy, a desperate pushy energy, and you're going to kind of be over the top, or you're going to show up in this weird meek state or this kind of a flat robotic state, and it's not going to connect. So that has to come from you first. And if you are not 100% sold on your offer, if the old you wouldn't have bought whatever you're selling, if you wouldn't buy whatever you're selling and you've not sold yourself on it, then don't launch it. Take more time, refine it, get help with it, because you're just going to waste your time. It's almost like a setup for self-abuse or like a self-fulfilling prophecy, because then you'll go to launch, it won't do well, and then you'll go, see, I knew you couldn't do it. See, it's not possible for you. See, all these people make it look so easy. It's hard. It can be a really deep-seated subconscious sabotage thing that's not cute. And a lot of the times, by the time people come to my programs or inside the Posse membership or apply to work with me, they've already been beaten down so much at that point and feeling like they're doing all the things and nothing's working. But the truth is, none of the actual core groundwork and foundations of the launch strategy were done in the first place. You guys just keep launching and kind of refining and changing it and then launching something else and being all over the place and coming up with a new program and then another new thing. I would rather you have one great signature program that you know for sure lands right in the hearts and in between the eyes of your ideal client, because that will sell all day long for many, many years to come. And that gives you the best return on your investment. Remember, we get to make massive money and it gets to feel easy. Stop making it so hard. And I'm saying it to myself as I'm saying it to you. It doesn't need to be hard. That's why I say we're unavailable for unnecessary hard. That doesn't mean we're not going to have to do hard things, scary things, annoying things, mundane things, tedious things, adulting things. But unnecessary hard is what we're not available for that. And anything I teach you, whether it's in my mastermind, whether it's on here, whether it's inside the Posse, whatever it may be, I only teach you the stuff that I know for a fact works, because I don't want you to waste your time. You've already wasted enough of your own time. When you're coming to me, you're looking to save time, and I want to give that back to you. I want you to hit those profits and hit those numbers and hit those people and reach your goals much faster and easier than I did. And we don't have to do things the hard way, but a lot of us are so hardwired to do it the hard way because we were taught that hard work equals success. No, it's smart work equals success. And I'm honored to be able to guide you to get you there and have it be easier and a lot more fun. Wishing you guys great health, wealth, and worth as always. I love you. If you are loving the show, love the episode, and you've been too lazy to leave me a 5-star written podcast review, that's not cool. Because this is how we grow the show. It's an essential part of growing this podcast. So if you can leave a 5-star written Apple podcast review, if you don't know how, you can Google it. The quick steps will come right up. It takes you 90 seconds. If you take a screenshot of it and leave your name or Instagram handle inside the review and then DM it to me on Instagram at ProjectME with Tiffany, I would love to treat you to a coffee drink of your choice as my way of saying thank you for being a grateful listener. So I appreciate you guys leaving those reviews. I read each and every one of them. It really brings our spirits up here at the team when we're super busy and we need a pick-me-up. So thank you so much for those of you who have left them and those of you who are going to do it right now. Talk to you guys soon. If you enjoyed this podcast, please write a 5-star review on iTunes. Not only will this make me super happy, but it will allow more listeners to find our special show. Simply help me help others.